Well, the purpose of our trip this time is to bring the president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops and the Archbishop of Chicago, who's the chairman of our subcommittee to aid the Church in Eastern Europe at the Bishops' Conference, to bring them here to Ukraine to show solidarity with the Ukrainian Catholics who are under pressure these days, and also to reassure the churches here, the Catholic churches, that our subcommittee and the American bishops will continue to walk with them through these times of difficulty and continue their support and perhaps even extend the support which we've traditionally tried to give. Well, I think those are good questions. I think, first of all, you should understand that all of our money to help the churches in Eastern Europe, and including Ukraine, comes exclusively from the American laity. Because of our constitutional arrangements in America, it's not possible for us to receive government money to distribute to the churches. What I really like to see in this is that I'll get a check, for example, from a diocese in Vermont up by the Canadian border. And every year we get a nice check to support the collection from this diocese. So I called the bishop one year and I said to him, you know, we're very honored and thankful for the money that your flock gives us every year. But do you have a lot of people of East European origin living in your diocese? And he said, none. And I said, well, then why do they give so generously every year? And he said, because the people understand the meaning of Catholicity. They feel that these are our fellow Catholics suffering overseas and having gone through terrible times. And they're just there to demonstrate that they understand their sufferings and that they can help in at least the minimal ways that they're able to. And that attitude towards Eastern Europe has certainly not changed among the American laity. A substantial portion of the American laity, of course, has family origins in Eastern Europe. And they all have the memory of a grandfather or a great-grandfather or perhaps someone even closer who comes from Eastern Europe. And so when something bad happens to the church in Eastern Europe, such as in Ukraine, I would say it hurts those people more than it hurts other Catholics, you know? And so they're very faithful, and they talk to the other Catholics in America about asking their support for this. Now, you asked how long would we continue to be doing this. There are no plans to terminate our effort. Every once in a while, questions arise in our bishops' conference. Well, should we be doing something now for Asia? For example, we've done Eastern Europe for 25 years now, but I think it's fair to say that, you know, given what's happened in Crimea and which may happen, God forbid, in other places like Moldova or the Baltic states, the reason for the existence of this collection has been reinforced. So I think that you can be assured that we'll continue this policy of aid and support as long as, you know, into the foreseeable future, I would say. Yeah. I think the most important thing is to live your lives consistently with the values and to treat other people in Ukraine as honored guests. And I was very encouraged to hear, for example, as were our bishops, that, for example, Ukraine has extended hospitality to Crimea Tatar refugees who are now here in Ukraine, having fled from Crimea. That's a really good public example of the way I think the values of the Ukrainian people that they're trying to use to transform their own society gets demonstrated for the public eye. I think my only closing observation would be is that we have a pretty remarkable Pope these days, and I think that what the Ukrainian Greek Catholic and Latin Catholic Church too, for that matter, should be doing is simply following the Holy Father's example in terms of values and what he personifies. He's showing us paths to a better future, and I think if we adhere to those paths, I think everything will be fine in the end. You know, as someone once said, in the end, everything will be fine. And if it's not fine, it means just that it's not the end.